Video link to cover what we did today in class. First, after we looked at our Pinterest, we found a vector page of line art that kind of mirrored what we liked so much from Pinterest. So I'm at this one, and I'm going to view the image, and then I'm going to right click and save the image to my desktop. At that point, I don't want the sample text that comes with the vector. So I'm going to turn off my Safari and find the image, right click and open with Adobe Photoshop CC. Alright, simple, the white in the background down here is white, so I can cut the text away, or I can use the eraser and erase it. There's the eraser to erase the text. Here is the rectangular marquee, and I can do the same thing and cut it all at the same time. If I decide I want these circles, I can just leave them alone. Right now I'm going to save as, and save it as the same file name that it was when I downloaded it. It just no longer has the text. And replace it. When I'm choosing a JPEG option to save it, I'm going to always pull it up to be as big as it can be so that there's less pixelizing. Alright, at this point I'm going to leave it there in Photoshop and minimize Photoshop and come over to the launch pad and look for Illustrator and open up Illustrator. Alright, there's the one that I made earlier. I'm going to start with a new Illustrator document, and the vector file is a horizontal file. I'm going to change it to inches, and can't get that one to go away. I have 24 by 18, which should work. So I'll click Create, and there's the vector file in the background. Now, in order to do the image trace, we want to place the vector file. So we come down until we find Place under File, Place, and open up the Design Graphic Vector and place it. Alright, it's going to let me paste it in the corner and stretch it to however big that I think it should be. Alright, there it is. Now I go to Object and pull down to Image Trace and Make. Now the first one is going to be default, and I think that's really quite lovely that I got rid of some of the texture and everything. So I'm going to save that as a PDF file. Click here next to Adobe Illustrator and move it over to PDF. And I'm just going to call it Line 3 PDF and save. There's what it looks like as the PDF. If I want to do one with color, next to default, I can change it to shades of gray, which is quite nice, or 3 colors. Yuck. That is really bright. 6 colors, not so bad. 16. That's like the original. I think I want the shades of gray. Then I'm going to change the name of that and save that vector as well. So save as, change it to line 4 PDF. All right. And I can close Adobe Illustrator. All right, we go back to our Photoshop document. There we are with the Illustrator. And now I'll place the ones that I made. So I'll come in and design graphic vector, edit, file to place embedded. And we'll get that one first. It's taking some time. All right, there he is. I'm going to put it right on top of the other one and click to place it. So I have the gray one. And now I'll place the black one. That place embedded, black, place. All right. And place. All right, at this time then I have 3 layers. I have the background original color, I have the gray color, and the black color. I cannot edit those if they're PDF Smart Objects. So if I right click on that opened it up. That isn't what I meant to do. I'm trying to right click and make it a raster. But raster isn't showing up there. If the raster doesn't show up when you right click it, it is under layer. So layer to rasterize the smart object. Now that is no longer a smart object. The difference here you can see with the little squares on the one that is. So I'm turning the black one off and do the same thing, rasterize smart object. All right, since I want to change the color and everything in the background, the next thing I'm going to do is select a color range of white and take the white out of all 3 layers. Let's see what happens when we cut the white. That took some of the transparency out of the gray. I kind of like it with being able to put it right over the top, so I think I'm going to leave that one be. Turn that one off. Turn this one on the layers, and select color range to white and cut the white. All right. And I move the black underneath the gray and have the red underneath all 3 of them. And I can just slightly move them now and have something different happen. There is the black. See, and I can move it back and forth. And now I have more lines just by moving it. There's the gray, really quite pretty background now. Let's take the white out and put something else in the white. Select color range white. And now I'm going to pour a color, and you can pour a color anywhere on that. So I think I'll take and use the gradient color. And let's choose a color that I'm seeing here that Get this a really light shade of this buff tone. And now when I put the gradient across, it's going to change it, depending on which direction I put it, to that really lovely buff. And I can go either way, or I can go up and down, or I can change it and do it from the center out, or I can make it kind of a shape. That one I didn't like. Or I can come down and make it light to dark to light. Or I can come here and go something similar from the outside in as well. I think I like that. We'll leave that going. Now the reason why all these are showing is that they're a different opacity. So I have the black and it's covering up more lines. I can change the opacity to a lighter black, and now my colors have changed even more. There's with it all the way down, which is too bright. I don't like that. Halfway up, I can change the opacity over here with my mouse. So that's with all black and gray and only the yellow showing. There's with a little bit more purple showing. A little bit more color showing there. That's got some really nice, peaceful, restful colors compared to the background. But if I want to change it even more, I can come under the background. And this is the first time I'm going to use an adjustment. We can use adjustments on Wednesday. Adjustments can change the colors really simple. We can change the color balance to change adjustments. There's the color balance. So I can make it more red or more blue or more darker blue, more cyan, more yellow. See how easily then I'm changing the colors of that background, kind of like that. So compared to my first piece, it's done a lot of changes. All right. I'm satisfied with the changes. I'm satisfied with the movement. I can always add another layer just so that it can have one more difference. So I'll come down here and duplicate the layer of gray again. And with that, let's change the color balance of it some. Color balance of the gray to more blue. And let's move it out one more time so that my lines are just spread a little bit more. All right. If you notice where I move them, I've got this stripe on the side, and I want to copy that and crop it. So I'm just coming to the edge with my marquee tool, which is, let's do it again, right here, and drawing a box across the whole thing, and I can crop it. All right, so very quickly then I have changed that line design to be completely different than the other and focused on the part that I like. So I'm going to go ahead and save as, and we're going to save it as a Photoshop document so we can open up the other one and look and see the difference. There was the first vector. There's the one now that I've saved it. That much less vibrant, much more peaceful. All right, and I've done a similar thing to the abstract rainbow that we did in class. So